Welcome to Awakening You channel. If you appreciate what we do, please support us. Thank you. Dear sons and daughters of planet Earth, I am Sananda. I hope that the vast majority, or perhaps everyone, enjoyed Mate Raya's message. Nothing changes. There is no difference between my energy and his. He's as capable as me. The only difference is that you were taught to idolize me, to put me on that pedestal on a cross, by your religions. In terms of capacity, energy, and love, there are no differences between us. We are evolved souls. Souls that once had a life on this planet and ascended. So we know exactly what it is like to go through the duality of the third dimension. But our growth and evolution were very similar. So don't make any difference between me and him, it's just an image that you still have to create in your mind, as you haven't been used to looking at it all the time. I'm going to take this opportunity to talk a little about idolatry. You were taught to idolize that vengeful God who judges, who condemns, who separates the souls that come to him between heaven and hell. These are the concepts that have been brought to you, and even with all this difficulty in reaching him, you learn to love him. But mostly they learn to fear him, they learn to, often not do certain things, because they would be punished by it. So when I come through my letters, to tell you that this God does not exist, that what exists is a loving God, extremely conscious of his creation and who wants, and this is how he planned, that each one of you live in balance, health, prosperity, and abundance. He doesn't judge where your soul will go, because that doesn't exist either. The fact that God the Father or Mother does not judge does not mean that you can now do what you want. Since God does not judge me, then I am free to do what I want. And I can tell you that you are, if you see fit to do anything, even if it involves the suffering of another, we can't stop you. Now you will be sowing this and you will certainly reap the same thing later on. So it's not that the universe is a great stage for unbridled debauchery and freedom. Everything has a consequence, because all the energy you emanate comes back to you in one way or another. Let's just say, let's change the actor in the story. It is not God who punishes you, it is you yourself. Everything you do against others or against yourself, nobody decided to do that, it was you. So there is no other actor. No one is responsible for the things that happen to you, you somehow planted it and are reaping it. So the only actor there is yourself. It may be that the lesson comes through someone else. Yes, you can. She may be the vehicle through which the problem reaches you, but it was you who created that problem, not her. But back to idolatry. Many of you live obsessed with your religions, obsessed with this punitive and unloving God, because within your concept, he is responsible for the suffering of people on the planet, for hunger, for violence, for misery, for poverty, he is responsible because he decides everything. But even so, you love him, you idolize him, you don't understand why he acts this way, but you continue to idolize him. Because in the same way that those who back then, the rabbis of the Jewish religion, insisted to the people on this punitive God, all other religions maintained this story that God punishes, that God determines things, that God has determined that humans can die, that God determined that animals can die, that you can take the law into your own hands. God determined all of this. Each religion put it in its own way, but deep down they all say the same thing, that God is this executioner who simply punishes his children with suffering, and you continue to idolize this figure. Consequently, for those who follow the religion, which placed me as its center, also idolize me because they were taught to idolize me. To look and see me on the cross and believe that I gave my life to redeem your sins. I'm not going to comment on that here. Whoever wants to understand, read my letters. And you idolize me, they pray at the foot of the cross. Why do I have to be represented by a human stuck on a cross? Why can't I just be an evolved being who loves you? Because it would not bring palpability, it would not bring the result that its religious leaders always wanted to have, the manipulation of the masses through religious leaders. In this case the leaders of light, because it is God who punishes, it is I who punishes, it is the saints who punish, it is Mary who punishes. So you are controlled by all of them pointing fingers saying you are guilty, so you will pay. So where does idolatry come in? Idolatry is forgetting yourself, to live according to something. Then there are those who are 100% religion and think that by doing so, they are placating God's wrath. If I spend the whole day preaching, praying inside a temple, church, I will have God's forgiveness. What do you do for yourself and for others? Nothing, because neither I nor God ask for anything. God does not bargain, nor does any being of light bargain with you. This story that you have to do this, for the being of light to serve you, is a big joke because there is no bargain. Then we would not be beings of light. Where is our unconditional love? Oh yes, we will only love you if you walk on your knees for 100 kilometers. This is not loving unconditionally, because we would be putting a condition on loving you. But who said that? It wasn't us. Exactly, it was your religious leaders, so that you continue to be afraid and idolize us, always putting ourselves on a pedestal, unreachable, unattainable. So many today still do not admit that I, the Christ, could be here speaking through a human. No, it's not me, it's anything but me. Because human beings are sinners, they are dirty, they could never receive such glory. To these, I have to say, what a shame, that you don't believe what I'm saying here. But one day you will believe, and it will be very difficult for you to accept everything that comes. Because you closed your heart, you simply believe what humans say, not what we beings of light say. It's interesting, how every religious leader puts himself in the role of judge too, because he discriminates, points the finger, judges, separates, excludes, because God doesn't like it. Where did God say He doesn't like it? He doesn't like the philosophies created by religions, not His will. Whoever loves unconditionally, does not impose conditions, does not separate, does not exclude, does not segregate, does not point the finger, does not judge. So there is no such thing as being A or being B, not liking a certain type of people. For us, you are souls, who, due to a condition of life, have a physical outfit. What we see is the soul. And if the soul vibrates high, if the soul is of light, if the soul follows a path of love, we will be there grateful for the existence of that soul. Otherwise, if it is a soul that does not vibrate light, that goes against everything that God the Father or Mother has planned, we will have even more love for it, because it is lost and needs to find its way. So how do we judge? How do we separate? So let's try to absorb that this story of idolatry is not good for you. First, because each human being was created in the likeness of God the Father or Mother, with the strength of God the Father or Mother, with the light of God the Father or Mother. So why do you need to idolize someone or something, for things to happen? You are the one who creates your world, the one who creates your path, not the being of light. The being of light is there to support you, not to do for you. If you ask for our help, we will be there for you. If you can't handle it, you're weak, you need support, we'll be there for you. Now, it's not shouting at us, give me this, thinking that because you follow the path of righteousness we will give it to you. And what are you doing to get what you are asking for? Are you focusing? Are you acting correctly? Are you acting evolvedly? Because if you are acting this way, you will get what you are asking for, but not through our interference, because you yourself are creating your path. So why idolize? Why think that if you don't pray 24 hours a day, you don't deserve anything? I would say that the one who takes 5 minutes and prays fervently, being grateful for everything he has, is better than the one who prays 24 hours and only asks. So understand that idolatry for anything, be it a being or your religion, will not lead you to anything. Because it's not by idolizing, giving up your life for something, that you will have prosperity and abundance. Life is a succession of obstacles where you learn along the way, to overcome each one of them. So if you worry about idolizing the saints, idolizing your religion, you are taking the focus off your journey, the tests you have to pass, the lessons you have to learn, and your life will be empty. Because you have achieved nothing, focused only on one thing, focused only on serving and idolizing. Your walk was forgotten. So I can say that many here now still act this way, they still think that religion has to be at the forefront of everything, that you have to live serving religion 100% of your time. So I tell you, you don't have to serve anyone, your life is yours, it was given to you by Father or Mother God. So you have to take care of it, you have to always be aware of your walk. You can even use some points from religion to give you support, perfect. But don't idolize her all the time, as if there was nothing else in the world. Staying away from temptations, as you say, because you focus 100% of your time on religion, is not learning anything. It's that hermit, who isolates himself in a cave. What does he learn? Very little, because he didn't have any experience, he didn't overcome barriers, he didn't go beyond limits, he lived according to his perspective and his idolatry for himself. So who do you have to idolize? To nobody. There is no idolatry, nor a being of light, whatever it may be, wants idolatry, none. We all want to serve you. We do not demand that we be loved, because we are pure love, we love everyone unconditionally. Even those who turn their backs on us, on the contrary, they are the ones we love and care about most, because they have not yet found the right path. So rethink all the dogmas and beliefs that you were used to idolizing. We want to be friends, brothers, not supports or crutches for anyone. Because whoever relies on the being of light does not evolve. Because you think we're doing it, but we're not doing anything. Because we are not support, nor crutches, we walk alongside. We help when you ask, but we don't do anything for you. The decisions are yours alone. And it doesn't hurt to remember, every decision made will be reflected up front. This is the truth. This is the truth that your religious leaders do not often tell you. That everything that happens to each one of you, to your world, is the result of everyone's choices, it is the result of the sum of the choices of all the inhabitants. So don't blame anyone. Nobody is guilty of anything. The harvest is to blame. From who? Of what you sowed, no one planted for you to reap. Everyone plants and harvests their own crops, no one plants for anyone else. So think a lot, think about the weights you place on certain things in your path, especially religions and the beings of light that you idolize.